The biggest shift in online coaching hasn't been talked about nearly enough. Whilst most people are still trying to build their businesses using outdated methods, quietly behind the scenes, a new type of coach is starting to emerge. They're working fewer hours, reaching more people, making a bigger impact, and all without sacrificing their time, their energy, or their values. But here's what's crazy. The most successful coaches aren't necessarily the most knowledgeable or talented. They're playing a new game that most people haven't caught onto yet. You see, we're currently living through the fastest evolution of online businesses that's ever been seen. And the coaches who understand how to move with it instead of against it, they're the ones who are reaping the benefits. So the question isn't, can you build your dream life as an online coach? The real question is, will you take action before this window closes, or will you let it pass you by? 12 months ago, running an online business looked completely different. Now, AI is everywhere, content is faster, buyers are smarter, and attention spans are shorter than ever. But instead of being overwhelmed by that, you should see it as your advantage. Because tools that used to cost agencies 5 figures a month, you can now use for free. Automation, outreach, editing, onboarding, delivery. What used to take a team of 5 now takes one person with the right systems. We're not in the information age anymore. We're in the leverage age. And the people who are building real freedom right now, they're not doing more, they're actually doing less, but with more precision. Leverage is the key to becoming successful, not effort. When you have leverage, you have opportunity. And when you have opportunity, you have the potential to unlock the life most people are chasing. Now, I think first we need to determine what a dream life looks like for you, because I'm well aware that this can differ from person to person. For some people, it may be to earn more money. For others, it's about having control of their time. Now, in my opinion, if you ask this question to yourself, you'll probably say that you want a mixture of both. And if you're anything like me, then you'll also want to feel a sense of purpose too. When I first started online coaching, all I wanted was 3 things: time freedom, financial freedom, and location freedom. I want to be able to do what I want, when I want, with who I want. That for me is what a dream life looks like. And the beauty of online coaching is that it's one of the few business models that gives you the opportunity to achieve this. However, you have to do it right. Now, my ideal and dream day and dream life is very, very simple. I want to wake up, work for an hour or 2. I then want to go and work out, enjoy myself in the gym, feel fit, feel strong. I then want to go for a walk, maybe outside for an hour, my top off in the sun by the sea, and then maybe go for a nice meal later in the day. Now, the real thing that most people do is they create themselves a prison with their business. They have the golden handcuffs, they're doing all the shit all day long, but they don't actually have the ability to do the things they want. And this is where you have to understand there's a difference between earning money, but then also having freedom. And a great example of this is actually our client, Cesar Bononi, who actually was formerly a pro wrestler who's actually based in Florida in the US. I had a call with him yesterday, and he's not only just happy that we helped him generate over $60,000 a month in his business, but he was over the moon the fact that yesterday he got to go to the beach with his mum, who's over from Brazil. And that today was his wedding anniversary, and he could spend a whole day with his wife and not have to worry about work. Because his business runs without him, because he's built correctly on the right systems. And he has built his business around his life, and that's where you live life by design. You can't just build your dream life off hard work alone though. You need the right structure, the right systems, but more importantly, the right guidance. Now here's where most coaches get caught out. They've got ambition, they've got skill, they want to build something meaningful. But for some reason, they seem to stay stuck. Not because they don't care, because the model they're following is outdated and broken. They're trying to grow through more effort, more check-ins, more content, more sales calls. But more effort without more leverage just creates burnout. And that's when the doubt creeps in. You'll start saying to yourself things like, maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe I need to lower my prices. Or the best one yet, maybe I should just go back to working my 9 to 5. At least that gives me some stability. Listen, you do not need to pivot. You need to upgrade the way you operate. When your systems are clean, your content speaks clearly, and your leads are qualified, business gets easier. Now, I distinctly remember in the summer of 2020, I had one of my Stripe accounts shut down, and I woke up at 6 a.m. to go and train legs because I'm supposed to be having a day off this day from actually working, rarity. And the headline of the email was literally, your business is going to be shut down. And essentially what had happened, and we had too many disputes on a low ticket program, don't do a low ticket program, and one of my payment processes was going to shut down. This was going to cost me £250,000. £250,000 that's going to cost me. And I was also nearly banned from using that payment processor completely. Now, the reality that was the point where I'm like, I just can't be asked to deal with this anymore. This is a massive headache. Maybe I should just go back to being an estate agent. I get paid every month. There's no hassle. All these big problems aren't mine. But the reality is you have to reframe the way you look at things. You actually get to have the privilege of having some of these pressures put on you. And what you do is you rise and you increase your ability to tolerate those and also handle them. And what was once a pain in the arse and really scary back then would just be like a fly on my shoulder right now. And that's where you just get used to these things and your stress tolerance increases over a period of time. So the most important thing you actually need to do though is create yourself the right environment and right people around you to give you guidance when you have these types of things happen. Because there is nothing that can happen to you in an online coaching business that hasn't happened to me. I've had Instagram hackers try and blackmail me for $30,000. I've had my Facebook ad account shut down. I've had my Instagram shut down 12 times. Stripe account shut down, threatened with legal action, all types of bullshit. This is just the reality of what happens when you have a successful business. People are going to throw stones at you, people are going to throw shit at you, but it's your ability to actually handle the stress which will make you successful. The grind out mentality of 2019 just doesn't work in this new era we're in. Now's the time to shift your perspective. Let me show you what you need to be doing. The roadmap we use is the same roadmap that's helped hundreds of coaches go from stuck and second guessing to full-time, confident, and in control. And I'm going to break it down for you into 5 simple steps. Step number 1, nail your identity and your audience. Number 1, who do you actually help and serve? Number 2, what problem do you solve? This is the key thing because you actually want to reverse engineer back from this. Thirdly, why you? Why are you the best person to solve this problem for them? And if you actually think about this in reverse order of who you help, the easiest person to help is the former version of you because it's easy to explain why you, because you're the person who's already slayed that dragon before and you fix that problem. Which is why if you're watching this video and you want to scale an online business, I have scaled plenty of online businesses, so I know the exact problems and issues you're going to run into before you get there. And that's the exact problem I solve. Now, one of the things people don't understand is your backstory is the one thing that really makes you stand out. Now, for many people who might not know this, I used to be, for my sins, an estate agent. So people in the US would call this a realtor or a real estate agent. And what we ironically have without us even trying is we have lots of people coming to us who want to be online coaches, who want to come out of the real estate industry or the estate agent industry because they relate to me, to my backstory, because there's photos and images of me when I used to be an estate agent, when I was hustling, grinding in that, whilst actually running my online coaching business at the same thing. And this is where you actually want to think about who do you help, is you build your audience and your brand around who you are, and how you stand out right now is you be unique. And you be unique by just being you. And this is the biggest mistake so many people make. And the reason you probably don't have the mental freedom you want is because you're trying to be someone else rather than be the greatest version of you. Now, step number 2 is you need to build a content machine that drives conversations. If you think about what we're doing is once we create traffic, we create content, we want to use a very simple framework to think about. No one can buy anything from you unless there's some conversation. So you need to actually post content to create conversations. So firstly, don't just post for the sake of it. Think about, like, I'll put a question mark. What problem does it solve? What's your intention? Is it I want traffic? Is it I want leads? Is it I want to show social proof? Because generally, it's going to be one of these 3 things. Like, that's a reality for the only reason you post. So just don't post shit for random sake. I see trainers posting like, oh, I'm doing like here's another check-in on my story. No one gives a fuck, dude. Like, nobody cares. Like, make everything you do actually intentional. And this is where you want to engineer your content to get the traffic and the people you want. Because people will resonate with you because of what you put out there. Like, your vibe attracts your tribe. Secondly, is you want to solve problems with your content. Now, this is so easy when it comes to fitness. If I put an Instagram reel up about how to do this calf exercise and they feel like calves that I've never done before, and my calves are epic, by the way, people will be like, holy shit, this is amazing. I wonder what his actual paid programs are like. So what you want to do is you want to give stuff away in your content that people can actually take and then they can implement. And they're like, holy shit, this really works. And if you actually look at what we're doing in this video, we're doing this right now. We are giving you actionable things you can take if you implement. We'll work on your content and we'll help you make money and build a freedom business. 3 is you want to build trust and authority. Now, this comes down to you actually being unique and also being you. So be truthful, build a brand around what you actually like, what you don't like, and don't build something that's a fake house of cards, which I see some coaches do. Now, something I find incredibly frustrating is also where people try to flex on social media about having certain cars and certain lifestyle. Like there's an element of, yes, people do buy into lifestyle, I agree, but you also have to be careful of how you portray that. So for example, if you're an online coach in Dubai, one of the things you don't want to be portrayed as is another douchebag online coach in Dubai. And I mean it as a polite term, as someone who lives in Dubai and drives around in a Ferrari. So I would probably come into that category for people who don't know me. Now, the reality is you have to create trust by putting maybe more personal things. So things about your life, the pets you have, the things you like to do, like random facts about me, I'm a ski instructor. And like, if you look on my Instagram account, one of the pinned posts I have is basically things about me you don't know. One of those which would be that. And this is where these small little things create little parts of connection with your audience that they'll buy into you and create that know, like, and trust factor. Now, when I first started making content online, all I used to post that used to get a lot of engagement was like ab selfies and topless stuff. And I remember someone saying to me, your content makes you look like an egotistical prick. I was like, and I looked at it and I was like, I can kind of see a point. And I see that a lot with people's content right now. Like, yes, you need to put some content of showing you're in great shape, but probably every photo shouldn't be you with a topless six-pack selfie, because it's probably not going to endear you to your audience. Now, it's great to be an inspiration. I'm not saying not to do that, but you also have some type of balance of how you push some of these things out there. And you want to show yourself as the way I try and think of myself as a four-dimensional person. Yes, I'm in great shape. Yes, I'm great at business. Yes, I have a family life. Yes, I travel and have a cool lifestyle. Yes, I'm really smart and like building cool stuff. Like, show the depth of who you are as a human being, because that's what people want to buy into. And if you think about it from a fundamentals, what people really want is health, wealth, and relationships. And if you can push those three things in your content, you will crush. Now, step number 3 is creating an offer that's simple, scalable, and valuable. And this is where a lot of people go wrong. You have to think firstly about having one thing, a promise you can actually deliver on. Now, what most people don't actually think about is what problem do they solve and what is the defined time frame that you solve it in. Because people do not want an online coaching membership. People want the end result. So what you want to sell people is the vacation. You do not sell them the flight to go on a vacation. That is not the sexy part. Being on the beach is the fun bit, right? So this is what you need to push people. And I'd always have some type of time frame that you push people for the desired outcome. Now, when it comes to actually getting LTV and getting clients to sell longer, essentially this is a process where we resell them, and that's where you focus on retaining clients. Second, when you have a process that actually has a promise that you can deliver on, secondly, you have to have a system that can deliver clients. And we call this the optimal selling system. You want a system that is on repeat, where you're not having that constant anxiety of, when is a sales call going to get booked in? When am I going to sign a client up? And every single month you have that crippling anxiety of like, oh, I'm behind on our revenue. My monthly recurring revenue's dropped. You operating from a place of scarcity and fear is not the place you should be running your business. It's not the place you can be making the best long-term decisions. And it is not the place that's going to give you the freedom lifestyle you want. Thirdly, is how do you provide client support and make this a 5-star service so they never want to leave? And then they also do one thing that is going to help you grow your business forever for free. And that is going to be referring friends. And if you want to know something super fucking nerdy, which is wild, if you can do this, if you can get more referrals every month than clients that churn, your business will grow forever for free, for nothing. So you just need to be really good at getting a couple of clients in, get really good results to them, get them to refer their mates, have a great referral system, and guess what? Your business grows on autopilot, and that's your job done. Now, step number 4 is installing a sales process. Now, for you to actually grow your business, there's 2 very simple things that you need to do, and everyone overcomplicates this. Now, if I'm very radically transparent with you, for you to grow your business is very, very simple. It's hard, but it's not fucking complex, because you need to do 2 things. You need to book calls, and then you also need to close calls. That is kind of the game on basis. And then that leads to money in the bank, which is our whole goal. So what you need to do as these coming through is you want to make sure that you have only qualified leads that you speak to, so you're not wasting your time. You want to have structured buying conversations, and you want to be using AI to analyze these. This is a very powerful tool we use, which helps our business crush and helps our clients crush. And thirdly is you have to create a safe environment for conversations. Now, this is even more important when you actually understand human psychology, because men want status, women want security. So if you're focusing on selling to a female audience, you providing a safe environment is incredibly important. One actually the best ways to do this throughout your sales process is something you've already spoken about, but is proof over promises. Because if Sandra sees Karen, who also lives in New York, the same city as her, has got the exact same results that she wants and she has the exact same problems, what do you think the likelihood is that she's going to sign up and work with you? That is going to increase dramatically. So think about proof and showcasing that as you go through any type of buying conversation. And this is one of the most important things you use in the sales process. And we also automate a lot of this using paid ads and engineer the buyer's journey. Step number 5 is building lightweight systems that remove you as the bottleneck. You want automation, delegation, and simplicity. And a great example of this is actually one of our clients, Aaliyah. Now, she has made over $230,000 in a single month, working around 15 hours per week. Why? Because she used this very simple framework of ADE. You either automate, you delegate, or you eliminate. And as your business scales, you want to focus on doing the highest leverage things you actually enjoy doing. And this is where you build a business that works for you and that you do not work for it and you do not have the golden handcuffs. Now, the second part is you want to have a clean system. When ideally what I mean by this is that you have a way for leads to come through, they get booked into a sales call, someone eventually takes a sales call, they close the sales call, they get coached by someone else, and you're out. If you get to that point, you've essentially completed the game, and that's like A+. That's essentially where you want to be. Now, the fastest way to do that is actually removing friction through the onboarding process and making that as seamless as possible. You also will find that your delivery will then improve dramatically and you'll have less burnout because guess what? Your clients are happier. If you improve the initial experience that your clients have, do you know what you also end up getting? It's more referrals and your business continues to grow and you get nicer people to deal with. Now, one of the hacks to do this, to build a system that actually removes you from the bottleneck as well, is something called TTV. And this is time to value. How essentially quickly can you get a person a result? And this makes the whole thing just flow easier. Because then if you do have a problem further down the line, what happens, people tend to give you less shit and be more forgiving. And the reason most people get stuck in their businesses massively is they do not have this first framework of automate, delegate, eliminate. And you can do a lot of this now with the beauty of AI. You just do not know the questions to ask and how to utilize it yet. If you nail these steps, then you're already going to be in front of 90% of online coaches. However, if you want the secret sauce that turns you from average into a master, then you need to remember this one thing. Your biggest asset isn't just the systems you create, it's the environment you're part of. One of my favorite quotes is this: when you have $1 million vision, you don't surround yourself with 1 cent minds. You see, if you want to win in life, then you need to surround yourself with winners. You need to surround yourself with people who don't just talk the talk, but actually walk the walk. Your environment and the people you choose to surround yourself with dictates your perspective on life and what's achievable. So here's what I want to leave you with. You can keep trying to figure this out alone and spend another year spinning your wheels, or you can be part of a community and an environment that's built for winners. You can get the structure, support, and the latest strategies that actually work right now. Not just to grow a business, but to build a life you're proud of. Freedom, momentum, confidence, clarity. It's all on the other side of a few aligned decisions. If you hit the link below this video, we will map out with you on a free business audit call exactly where you are now, exactly where you want to go, and the exact things holding you back. And if we feel you're a good fit to work with us, we will show you exactly what that looks like, and we will invite you to do so. And we can map out exactly how you can build your freedom fitness business. So hit the link below this video, book a free call now, and we'll see you on the other side of the life you always wanted.